Hi, good day everyone. My name is Kevin Bramble, student of the OS platform. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how to configure DHCP server, also installing and configuring it as well on your Windows server. Right, so what I'm going to do first is actually show how to configure the DHCP server on Cisco Packet Tracker, right, and then on Windows server. So for those of you all who don't know what Packet Tracer is, right, Packet Tracer is like a simulation software that allows you to logically map out a network, create a blueprint of a network, right? So therefore you can set up like a devices, a connection, and you can actually see a simulation of how communication or whatnot will take place between different devices, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up a few devices, right, and below here is where you have your different tools, right, that they provide you with. So you have networking devices, end devices, connections, and whatnot, right? So first I want to just choose end devices because I just want to get some systems like PCs, laptop. So I'm going to plot a PC, I'm going to plot a laptop, and I'm going to plot a server as well, because this is where I'm going to install the DHCP service, right, and configure it. Right, not install actually, but configure it, because everything is actually set up on this already, right? So these are devices, and one more thing I'm missing here is actually a switch, because I need all these devices to be able to communicate with each other. So to get this switch, that's gonna go on the network devices, switches. Just gonna use one of these switches there. That's the second one. I'm gonna pull it out. Let's put it in the middle, right? And here now I need some connectivity, some physical connection, some cabling. So get cabling, there's one that's lighting icon here, right, on the connections. I'm gonna click, and these are my different connections here I could use to connect these devices. Of course different devices have different ports, right? So therefore for these kind of devices, desktop whatnot, we normally use these kind of internet kind of cabling, right? So copper, or basically copper crossover. Right, so these two connections have some slight differences, right, in terms of what they can connect together with it. So for like copper straight through, we normally use it to connect like dissimilar devices. So PC to switch, PC to router, we normally use straight through for that. And a crossover cable we can use to connect similar devices. So PC to PC, switch to switch, router to router, we use crossover cabling for, right? So basically these are basically slight differences. It's actually important to know, because sometimes I use the wrong cable, right, and then after you'll get some connectivity issues, right? That's because I the type of cabling. So right, so for this my device is going to use the straight through cable, sorry. I'm going to connect the PC to the switch, right, server to switch. I think it's a 4-port switch or something, right? Then switch, you could connect it anyhow. I just connect it from PC to switch, it don't matter. Right, right, so here you can second up, right? The green arrow indicates that everything has been configured properly, and therefore you're getting a free flow of connection between these devices and them, right? So I have all my things set up here, right? And what I'm going to do, I just want to click on my node. I'm going to config, I'm going to go on the interface, I'm going to go fast internet, and I want to set this as DHCP because we're going to configure DHCP server, and therefore our systems need to have the DHCP option checked, right? Or you read the button checked there, right? So that it will get an IP from the DHCP server, right? So we see IP populate here, right? But it's not the actual IP that we want to get. This IP is basically known as a paper address. So this address is basically, when it says address, indicates that the computer cannot reach a DHCP server, or the DHCP server is unavailable, right? Which is the case right now. We haven't set a DHCP server, so this is why you're getting this address, right? So basically you could use this address to internally or locally communicate within the internal network, but not externally. So for internet wise, you cannot use this address, right? We'll have to close. We're going to laptop 2, we'll do the same thing. Now fast internet, straight to DHCP, right? And now we're going to the server now. So we want to go and configure the server, right? So the first thing we need to do before we actually look to run the DHCP service on the server is actually configure the server IP address. So to do this, we need config tab, we're going to go on the interface, right? On the interface we have fast Ethernet 0, that's the actual port, right? Network card, I believe, yeah. And here now we're going to give a server a static IP. We're going to play 192.168.0.1. You can use any IP address. This code is the IP that I normally use, right? Automatically update the subnet mask. On the global, now I'm going to go and set in because I want to configure the gateway as well. So the gateway I'm going to use 192.168.0.1, 192.168.0.1, yeah. Right, so the DNS server is basically the server IP as well, right? And make sure that you're setting IPv4 and not IPv6, IPv4, right? And so everything is set here. I just want to make sure, and I just want to run ipconfig. So to do this, you know, to my desktop tab, I'm going to go in command prompt. I'm going to go ipconfig/all, ipconfig/all here. And here we see all our settings here. IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DNS servers, right? So everything has been set properly. We're going to click close. We're going to click right close, and then now to actually get the DHCP server running, we need to go in the services tab, right? So we're going to go in services, and under services we're going to put DHCP, which is the second option here, right? Click DHCP. And here now is basically where the DHCP server is, or the service, right? So you have the interface here, which is the network card, right? We have the pool name, right? So you can set this pool name, any pool name you want. So I'm going to call this scope my DHCP scope, yeah. And the default gateway is the server IP. I'm going to set the DNS server as well to be that same IP. 168.0.1, right? And it's starting IP now. So the starting IP basically is where you want the server to distribute from. So if it's 0.50, therefore the server will be distributing IPs from .50 and above, 50, 51, 52 until the ending IP when it's specified. Alright, so I'm going to leave this default. I'm not going to change anything here. And subnet mask, right, automatically populated, right? Max number of users, right? So this is a /24 plus subnet mask, so therefore maximum number of users it could accommodate is up to 254, right? And here we're going to click save, right? A new pool will be created as our default one. Right here we can see my DHCP scope, right? Some mask, whatever. Right, we're going to click save. And here now we want to turn on the service. So I make sure it's option checked because we won't be getting any IP addresses if it's not checked. Right, so we're going to click service on, and therefore now everything should be running. So now we're going to go back in one of our nodes, right? So I'm going to go in desktop node. I'm going to click. I'm going to go on the fast internet, and here, so before we had a 169 address, and therefore it changed to the 192 address. So therefore we are getting a proper IP address from the server, right? So 192.168.0.2, right? And on that globe, on the settings, you will see you get the DNS server as well, right? So we'll click close, and if you go on PC laptop as well, you're supposed to say IP here as well, and we get .3, right? So the next IP that was given out to this host machine was .3 along with the same subnet mask. Right, so basically this is it for configuring the DHCP server on Cisco Packet Tracer. Right, so we have a logical representation of how it actually works, and I finish here now. So therefore now we could just minimize this, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually do it on the Windows server now. Right, I'm going to actually install the DHCP service on the Windows server, configure it, and also on next client machine, the Windows 7 machine, I'm going to check to see if this is getting an IP when I finish configuring it on the Windows server. Alright, so I'm going to go back on server. I'm going to go in server manager. I'm going to add rows and features. Right, so you could do this on different places. You could do it from the server manager here, add rows and features, or if you go in manage, add rows and features. Right, same thing. Right, I'm going to click add rows and features, go next, row base, yes, next. I'm going to click DHCP server because this is the service that you want to install. And we click next, Right, next, and restart server if needed. Yep, I'm going to click install. Right, so this is going to take a few minutes to install. So by the time this install, I'm going to pause the video and we'll get back when it finishes. Right, so the DHCP role has been completed. So now we need to do some configuration. Right, so here now, right on the DHCP server, we see complete DHCP configuration. So after the install, we have to configure this server. So I'm going to click complete DHCP configuration, and here it's asking to authorize the scope. Right, so therefore we need to give this DHCP permission to authorize, to be able to be authorizing the server to be able to give out a DHCP IPs or whatnot to other systems. We're going to click next, and we'll click commit, and therefore we see our DHCP server done. Right, so therefore this server is authorized to give out IP addresses to other devices on the network. We'll close, close, and now we're just going to go in tools. We're going to go back in our DHCP service, and here now is where you have a DHCP server. Right, so you have your server name, the PC name, laptop.com, domain name. Right, we're going to quickly drop down arrow here. On our IPv4, right, we have a scope set already. The reason that you're seeing this here is because I had a DHCP server before. Right, this is uninstalled, but the configuration is still here. Right, but just for this video, for those of you who just configure for the first time, normally you will see when it's finished installing, you'll see add new scope. Right, so to add new scope, you just right click on the IPv4, you go and click new scope, we'll click next. Just going to give it scope and name, so I'm going to call it Kevin scope. That's my name. I go to the device description, right, in terms of what the scope going to be doing. Right, that's going to leave it blank for now. We'll click next, and the starting IP. Right, I'm going to give the server a starting IP. So the starting IP is the IP address that the server will start to distribute IPs from. Right, I'm going to use a different IP because I don't want any conflicts. I think it will conflict if I use a different the same IP. I'm going to use 1.2.168.1.1. Right, but of course your IP address have to match with the server IP. So if your server is 0.1, you have to match with the 0. Whatever. Right, and an IP 1.2.1.254. Yeah. Right, and the length is is 24. This is the subnet bits. Right, the length here. And it's on the mask class, it's on the mask default. Right, go click next. Right, and exclusion and delays. Right, so exclusion is like a set of IP addresses that you do not want the server to give out. So just in terms is like, let's say you have other servers on the network. So if you have 10 servers, you want to dedicate specific IPs to those. So it could be from a range. So let's say if I dedicate from 192.168.1.2 all the way to 192.168.1.10. right, so I do not want this server to give out IP addresses starting from 1.2 to 10. right, so I exclude these IP addresses. Right, so therefore I don't know what devices on the network could get these IP addresses. I'm going to click add, I'm going to click next. Right, so this is the this next experience lease duration. So this is how long the IP address stays active before it actually renews. Right, so have a default limit of 8 days. You can customize this so how long you want, whether 3 hours, days, minutes, whatever. Right, go click next. Right, here's how I configure the scope now. Click next. Right, we already have a router as it, but to leave this as blank, click next. Right, and right, we have VDN server here. Click next. And wins. Right, so wins, this option is very mandatory. Wins is like a older version, like a prior version to DNS server. Basically, I think it converts NetBIOS names to IP, which is a computer names to IP. Right, it's not really mandatory, it's just good to know about it. Right, next. Yes, I want to activate the scope now. Next, and I click finish. Right, and when I click finish, my new scope will appear here. Right, and under your scope now, right, you have the pool, you have releases. So this is the pool here. Right, you see the IP addresses that we excluded. Right, and we have the leases. So when we connect our system to this DHCP server, we'll see it appear here. Right, but this scope, and want to deactivate this scope because I don't want any conflicts in the server. This was just a demonstration, right? So the scope, the only scope you have running is the default scope that I had here before, right? And you can see I just leases already because I think, yeah, the Windows 7 I had up, right, already. I just release a IP to the server, right? And we can see, right, just to observe, we see the server give out from .11, right? So the same IP address that we excluded, right, which was from .1 to .10, wasn't actually leased out. So you see from .11, the server actually leased out the IP from, right? So this is what they call as exclusions. Yep. So therefore the server won't give out an IP that's excluded, right? And we have reservations, right? Reservations, if you want to reserve an IP for some specific reason, you can do that, right? And I'm just going to go to the client machine now just to demonstrate the DHCP service, right? But here before, I believe that I had a static IP set because of we didn't have DHCP server before, so I need to go and take off this static IP. I'm typing admin. And therefore, yeah, I need to click obtain IP automatically. I'm going to click OK, close. And therefore, we're supposed to get IP now automatically from this server. So if I go in IP config, right, so we see that we got an IP .12. So 11 was one of the IP just now, and we see .12. So the next IP that was given out was .12. So if you go back on our server, on the address leases, let's click refresh. Yep, we see .12 comes up here. So therefore the CPU server is running smoothly, everything is configured properly, and that's it. So yep, so that's it for actually how to configure a DHCP server. Alright, yep, so I hope you all get through, and thanks again for watching this video.